this, we then start our Shakyamuni Buddha Puja on this joyous occasion of Lavadushan. So we hope you could download the text if you're not with us here in the Gompa, so that you can follow along. Otherwise, if you don't have the text, just try to take it as a meditation, listening to the words, visualizing whatever you hear, getting inspired by the story, life story of the Buddhas and all the good deeds which are shared in this puja. And of course, we are not engaging in these practices for our own sake, but first of all, to remember the kindness by Buddha returning from the heaven of the 33. He came back to our world, this world, Jambudvipa, and continued his teachings, which we are so fortunate to still have in this time, in an unbroken lineage brought to us by our teachers. So maybe be able to not only listen to these teachings, but to genuinely transform through the Dharma. Realizing that we have all the potential to become just like the Buddha. And then benefiting all beings, just as we receive benefit. Being able to repay this kindness we receive. So with this in mind, bringing all sentient beings around us, and we establish the field of merit. By the power of the truth of the three jewels, of the inspiration of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, of the great might of the completed two collections, and of the pure and inconceivable Dhamma Dhatu, let this place where the deity hosts of the peerless king of the Shakyas and their entourage are to be invoked become a perfectly pure Buddha land, created through the previous special vows of the teacher, the king of sages, with qualities of splendor like those of the Lord Amitabha's land. Let its ground be of the nature of manifold jewels, as even as the palm of the hand, broad and spacious, soft and pleasant to touch, immaculate, bright, spread with manifold heavenly flowers, with the sweet fragrance of snake's heart sandalwood, their borders built of jeweled tiles, their banks strewn with powder of gold, silver, and pearls, covered with graceful swaying opalas, kumaras, and lotuses, and adorned with various water birds sweetly calling and joyfully soaring and hovering. Let lakes, ponds, and pools with the 8 properties make it beautiful. Let wish-granting trees of jewels bending and swaying beneath celestial gems, garlands of pearls, pendant jewels, nodding blossoms, and beautifully formed fruit, with sounds of true Dharma coming from the ringing of little golden bells, stand everywhere and adorn it well. So let the perfect pure ground appear. In its center let there be a palace, arrayed with the 7 precious things, most brilliant, emitting beautiful beams of light that completely fill measureless worlds, of the limitless extent, containing infinite different well-proportioned dwellings, of the sphere of those who have completely transcended the 3 realms, arisen from the superior roots of virtue of those who have transcended the world, marked by the utterly pure and dominating knowledge, the abode of the Tathagatas with a community of bodhisattvas, frequented by infinite gods, nagas, yakshas, gandharvas, asuras, garudas, kinnaras, great serpent demons, human beings, and spirits, fixed in joy in the taste of the Dhamma and great bliss, causing all the goals of every sentient being to be attained, free full defilement, bereft of all maras, a place of the manifestation of Tathagatas, excelling the manifestation of all things, a vehicle of detachment from samsara through mindfulness, wisdom, and great realization, and quietude and insight, entered by the door of deliverance, emptiness, silentness, and wishlessness, resting on an array of kings of jewel lotuses adorned with infinite qualities, let the great palace appear. In its center, let there be gathered a lotus seat on a precious lion throne for the peerless teacher, the king of sages, and seats for all the rest of the Tathagatas of the 10 directions and the Bodhisattvas, hearers and pratigya, aryas, and their attendants. These places are in accordance with the special vows and might of each arya. All beautiful, let them appear everywhere outside and in accordance with their high statutes. Let it be entirely filled with manifold, excellent, perfect requisites of gods and human beings, such as foodstuffs, clothing, ornaments, and music, as described in the Sutra of the Three Heaps and the vows of the conduct of Bhadra, in whole oceans of clouds of offerings, and let it be adorned with ornaments. Let all the Aryas take their seats, transform these offerings into suchness, accept them and enjoy them. So we visualize that not only the offerings, which you see in front of our altar, but all the offerings all around the world, which are offered today, in all those centers of the FPMT organization and all other centers worldwide, that those offerings multiply, but also all the offerings, we visualize clouds of offerings now being offered towards the beautiful celestial realm which we just built up. Om Namo Bhagavate Vajrasarvapamana Tathagataya Arati Samyak Sambuddhaya Tayata Wamati Vajama Vajama Tija Vajama Vidya Vajama Buddhisiddha Vajama Buddhi Manoka Samkamana Vajra Savakama Varana Visudana Vajrasu Om Namo Bhagavate Vajrasarvapamana Tathagataya Arati Samyak Sambuddhaya Tayata Wamati Vajama Vajama Tija Vajama Vidya Vajama Buddhisiddha Vajama Buddhi Manoka Samkamana Vajra Savakama Varana Visudana Vajrasu Om Namo Bhagavate Vajrasarvapamana Tathagataya Arati Samyak Sambuddhaya Kayata Wamati Vajama Vajama Tija Vajama Vidya Vajama Buddhisiddha Vajama Buddhi Manoka Samkamana Vajra Savakama Varana Visudana Vajrasu by the power of truth of the three jewels, of the blessings of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, by the power of the great might of the completed two collections, and of the completely pure, inconceivable sphere of reality, may all these offerings become just so. And then we take refuge and generate bodhicitta. Sangye chudan soki chognam la jangsu bardu dagni kapsu chi dagi jinsogye pedye dagi dola penchye sangye du parshu. Sangye chudan soki chognam la jangsu bardu dagni kapsu chi dagi jinsogye pedye dagi dola penchye sangye du parshu. Sangye churan soki chognam la jangsu bardu dagni kapsu chi dagi jinsogye pedye dagi dola penchir sangye du parshu. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings never be separated from the happiness that knows no suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment and anger that hold some close and others distant. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings never be separated from the happiness that knows no suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment and anger that hold some close and others distant. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings never be separated from the happiness that knows no suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment and anger that holds some close and others distant. And then we invoke the merit field. Protector of all beings without exception, divine destroyer of the intractable legions of Mara, perfect knower of all things, Bhagavan and retinue, please come here. And then we pay homage, recollecting the 12 deeds. Perfecter of ocean-like sets of non-attachment, faultlessness, imperturbation, all-inclusion, undistraction, unconfusion, method, power, vows, and wisdom knowledge, homage to you. Mindfulness, efforts, the basis of psychic powers, the supreme faculties and the amazing powers, the enlightenment factors and the Arya path, all these you duly realized, homage to you. In the 3 countless eons completing the 10 stages, to tame the gods you became into Shita, the excellent being known as Veta-Ketu, you of infinite merits, homage to you. Knowing 'twas time, you happily entered the womb, were born from the womb, engaged in youthful sports, went forth and lived in practices of austerities, realizer of all benefits, homage to you. Beneath the Bodhi tree you overcame with mind of loving kindness Mara's force, all the conquerors of the 10 directions. O great hero, homage to you. Having won the 5 super knowledges by the supreme Vajra-like Samadhi, you gained the unsurpassable awakening, leader of the world, homage to you. Abandoning all stains and their impressions, your wisdom knowledge grew completely full. So you're the whole world's refuge, even the gods. Perfect Buddha, homage to you. You gained the triple kaya, bodies of great bliss and wisdom, with 5 certain features, and with the elaboration stilled by nature, and shown in all forms to other, homage to you. Your body, gleaming like the king of mountains, gives off infinite light just like the sun, and shines all round with the marks and signs, unparalleled protector, homage to you. With the true words of Dharma eloquence, of excellent meaning, you reclaimed your lines wrought that fears no listener, all bedecked in 60 qualities, homage to you. You of the 5 wisdom knowledges, clear, unobstructed, of non-abiding equality, source of virtues, achieving all good for disciples, free of all concepts, Lord of the world and Nirvana, homage to you. Discoverer of all virtues, worldly disciples of the rhinoceros-like and conqueror's children, common and superior, supreme teacher of samsara and nirvana, homage to you. Though you are free from all the bonds and fetters, by infinite miracles that fulfill your vows, you benefit beings as long as samsara lasts. So a friend of all beings, homage to you. Turning the excellent precious wheel of Dharma, you disciplined beings very hard to tame, and fixed disciples in the 3 liberations, possessor of the 10 powers, homage to you. Knowing the season of your disciples' fortune, you entrusted the doctrine to the Aryas and manifested Nirvana at Kushinagara, putting an end to sorrow, homage to you. That beings' merits might yet be increased, your remains were turned in heaps of relics, serving as bases for the whole world's worship. You whose deeds are ceaseless, homage to you. And then we pay homage, recollecting the 34 birth stories in the Jataka Mala of Surya. Once, Lord, when you took birth as a Brahmin, not bearing in compassion the misery of a tigress and her cubs, you gave your body, healer of affliction, homage to you. Once, when as King Sibi you were born, without regret you gave away all you owned. To a blind Brahmin both your eyes you gave, you who made the blind see, homage to you. Once, when you were king of Kosala, recalling your previous life, you said, behold this vast result of giving but some sour gruel, teaching people true Dharma, homage to you. When you were the merchant, heroic in giving, Mara, unable to bear it, created a fire pit. Courageously you crossed the pit of fire and made offerings to an Arya, homage to you. When you were the merchant Avisya, the gods to test you made all your goods disappear. But cutting grass and selling it, with its price you still sustain the needy. Homage to you. When born as a master hare, you taught your followers Dharma, and to feed a hungry Brahmin, leaped in a fire yourself. Then Indra took you and showed to all this marvel. Homage to you. Born as a Brahmin, living in forest austerities, through the very you took your austere food, still you gave without regret or attachment, living on joy of samadhi, homage to you. Born King Mitribala, with love you looked after all beings, with your own flesh and blood you fed 5 yakshas, saying, when I'm a Buddha, I shall give you nectar, homage to you. Born as Prince Vishvatara, you gave all you cherished away, including your wealth, elephant, son, and daughter. By fearless giving, you made all beings happy. Homage to you. Once born as a righteous king, you saved the lives of countless animals, not allowing their sacrifice. All your people you fixed in the law of 10 virtues, perfect in generosity, homage to you. When born king of the gods, amidst a battle with the Asuras, you caught sight of a bird's nest and saved the young bird's lives, disregarding your own. Keeper of morality, homage to you. When you were born a Brahmin, your master told you Brahmins in distress were allowed to steal, but you replied that stealing was improper. Perfect in morality, homage to you. When you were king of the Sibis, your minister offered you lovely Unmatyatini, but you said, though it cost me my life, I'll not commit adultery. Keeper of pure morality, homage to you. When you were a great sea pilot, by true factual words you overcame the ocean's abyss and satisfied all desired with manifold jewels. Suparaga, good crossing, homage to you. When you were king of fishes, and little fish were harmed by the lakes drying up and various birds, you saved them by true words that made it rain. Skillful, compassionate one, homage to you. When you were a quail, a forest fire encircled you, but by speaking true words you turned it back, saved countless beings' lives, and made them happy. You with the strength of truth, homage to you. Once you were a Chakra, king of gods, seeing a king and his court undone by liquor. You taught them by skillful transformation and set them in virtue. Matchless best guide of beings, homage to you. Once, Lord, when you were born, a wealthy Kshatriya, urged by detachment, perceiving the faults of desire, you abandoned all enjoyments of samsara and took the pure going forth, homage to you. Born into an illustrious Brahmin line, to meditate in the wild, made bad conditions the path, gave up thought of harming and taught your companions the Dharma, homage to you. Once when you were a treasurer to a king, when you heard your virtues proclaimed by others, you gave up this life and joyfully went forth. Perfect in morality, homage to you. Born a Brahmin, you left home and went forth, known as Judah Bodhi. Slighted by a king, you angered not, but welcomed him patiently and taught him homage to you. When born a king of geese, though caught in a snare, you had no fear nor wrath, but with skill and courage for King Brahmadatta and his attendants, you turned the wheel of Dharma, homage to you. When you were the wanderer Mahabodhi, many abused you, but you showed patience, not wrath. And to the king and his court, who held wrong views, showed the true way things are, homage to you. When born as an ape, you carried up on your back a man fallen over a precipice. When this wicked man returned harm for kindness, you were patient, outstandingly helpful rescuer, homage to you. When you were born through compassion, a Saraba bear, the king attacked, you fell into a chasm. But mounting him in your own body, you lifted him out. Sole friend of migrators, homage to you. When born as a rural deer, through your compassion you saved an exalted man swept away by a river, bore his betrayal, and turned the wheel of Dharma for the king and his retinue, homage to you. When you were a chief of monkeys and an army assailed your monkey tribe, in your compassion you made your body a bridge and saved the tribe. Astonishing great being, homage to you. When you were the ascetic Shantivadin, though a king had your body cut in pieces, not wroth with him, once more in your compassion you repaid good for injury, homage to you. Born as a lord of Brahma gods, in compassion you taught Angadina, holder of evil views, the deep law of cause and effects dependent arising. You were beneficial in all ways, homage to you. Born an elephant in a dreadful wild, in mercy not bearing the plight of 700 people a king of had banished, you gave up your body to feed them, perfect in patience, homage to you. Prince Ayagra, iron house dweller, sick of samsara and driven by detachment, you strove in the practice of bodhicitta and samadhi, perfect in dhyana, homage to you. When through compassion you took a buffalo's body, you bore a monkey's insults and taught some gods profound dependent arising as cause and effect. You so perfect in wisdom, homage to you. When through love for beings you took a bird's body, you cured a tormented lion and taught some gods the good path that pleases the conquerors. O matchless supreme guide to beings, homage to you. Through infinite existences like these enjoying insatiably, like an elephant bathing difficult deeds for others, you were enlightened. O compassionate teacher, homage to you. And then we recall the 14 marvelous great offerings, or we present the 14 marvelous great offerings. Flowers grown on land or water, not possessed by gods or others, and this I present you, chief of sages, every excellent incense tree in this or another place, gods and others' marvelous incense, I present you, chief of sages, light from dazzling noble gems, or produced from shining trees, or from suns and moons and so forth, set out to all parts, I offer. Perfume from fine fragrant trees, and this or another place, I send out to every region and present you, Lord of sages, sending out clouds of finest offerings, seas of jewel nature, jeweled mountains, and so forth. To all regions I make offerings. Troops most fond of play and pleasure, laughing, graceful, and so forth, the most joyful anywhere, I send out to every region. Sources of adornments, clothes, and so on, like wish-granting trees, are reciting Vajra mantras, offer unto all the Buddhas, generating bodhicitta for all sentient beings' sake, sending it to every region, I make offering to all the Buddhas. Through my offering, the perfection of giving, may sentient beings all achieve wealth and abundance, may their happiness lack nothing. Let all beings be established in their vows and bodhicitta. I send everywhere the calming of great faults like violence. May the suffering of malice, fear, and other things be calmed. May yogins in friendliness practice Dharma selflessly. Let me not reach Buddhahood till samsara meets its end. May all sentient beings too practice with such energy. Let all creatures' great defilements, such as greed, be pacified. Let all beings undistracted be possessed of the four dhyanas. Made pure by applying wisdom, great wisdom of Buddha's gnosis, best at cutting suffering, may all beings be pure Buddhas. And we continue to offer now the mandala. Zinkamuagi Om Vajabumi Aum Wangshen Segizaji Om Vajarike Aum Shi Sharika Yogika Weyusu Rigya Parirap Shalupapo No balance Jandra Minion Luden Lupa Nayab Dan Nayab Jen Yuden Damlan Sudu Draminian and Draminian Gira Rinpoche Riwo Pazam Gijin Dujuyepa Mamo Payeloto Kolo Rinpoche Nobu Rinpoche Tummo Rinpoche Lumpo Rinpoche Lampo Rinpoche Tasho Rinpoche Mapa Rinpoche Teshempai Bumpa Gema Tringwama Luma Gama Mitoma Dupama Nansama Dishama Nima Dawa Rinpoche Du Shirley Nampa Gyawegya Zen Nuzola Dami Yepojo Punsum Soptama Sajwa me pa zanjin yido wadinda drinchen sawa dangyo pa shepe pelden lama dampa namdangye pa duyan lama lozam tuwan doji shang shempo la soko shang shepe namla jinka muwagi wo tuje do we dunu zizuzo jene kanan sodo wa magyo nam keta danyam pesem chantem chela tuze wa shempugo ne jingilap tu so sajipugi Jushimitu Dramri Rablinji Niden Yen Padi Sangye Jinu Mite Uai Rokunam Dajina Shubarshu Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami. Okay, and we continue with the offering practice on page 10, if you follow the text. Greeting water pools from seas of learning, flowers of virtues, incense clouds of morals, lamps of wisdom, perfume lakes of faith, best ambrosial foodstuffs of samadhi, sounding cymbals of melodious praise, raised umbrellas, banners, flags around, of compassion, judgment, and quick wits, decorate my body's storied palace. This I offer, Dharma Lords, to you, steadfastly abiding in the broad-petalled lotus drop amidst my heart. I request with truly longing mind, May it always pleases the world's gurus. May it always please the kings of Dharma, so that henceforth until Bodhi your compassion's hook will sustain me. I make offering in faith. Please accept it and inspire me. And then we go to the part of confessing, keeping in mind that in order for the confessions, that it's not something to feel super guilty about and put ourselves down, but to have the four parts in place. So first taking refuge, what we did, then we confess, then we practice the method of purification, and then we make the strong wish to not engage longer in those negative actions which we confessed, in order to become of greatest benefit to all beings. With folded hands, I beseech the fully awakened ones present in all directions and the greatly compassionate bodhisattvas. Whatever sin I, a brute, have committed or caused others to commit in this life and others throughout the beginningless cycle of existence, and anything in which I have deludedly rejoiced, thereby harming myself, that transgression I confess overcome by remorse. Whatever offense I have committed out of disrespect with my body, speech, and mind against the three jewels, against mothers and fathers, and against spiritual mentors and others, and whatever terrible vices I, a sinner, defiled with many faults, have done, O guides, I confess them all. How shall I escape it? Rescue me quickly. May death not soon creep up on me before my vices have vanished. Death does not differentiate between tasks done and undone. This traitor is not to be trusted by the healthy or the ill, for it is like an unexpected great thunderbolt. I have committed various vices for the sake of friends and enemies. This I have not recognized. Leaving everyone behind, I must pass away. My enemies will not remain, nor will my friends remain. I shall not remain. Nothing will remain. Whatever is experienced will fade to a memory, like an experience in a dream. Everything that has passed will not be seen again. Even in this life, as I have stood by, many friends and enemies have passed away, but terrible sin induced by them remains ahead of me. Thus I have not considered that I am ephemeral. Due to delusion, attachment, and hatred, I have sinned in many ways. Day and night, a lifespan unceasingly diminishes, and there is no adding on to it. Shall I not die then? Although lying here on a bed and relying on relatives, I alone have to bear the feeling of being cut off from my vitality. For a person seized by the messenger of death, what good is a relative and what good is a friend? At that time, merit alone is a protection, and I have not applied myself to it. O protectors, I, negligent and unaware of this danger, have acquired many vices out of attachment to this transient life. One completely languishes while being led to have the limbs of one's body amputated. Parched with thirst and with pitiable eyes, one sees the world differently. How much more is one overpowered by the horrifying appearances of the messengers of death, as one is consumed by the fever of terror and smeared with a mass of excrement. With distressed glances, I seek protection in the four directions. Which good person will be my protection from this great fear? Seeing the four directions devoid of protection, I return to confusion. What shall I do in that state of great fear? Right now, I go for refuge to the protectors of the world whose power is great, to the jinas who strive to protect the world and who eliminate every fear. Likewise, I earnestly go for refuge to the Dharma that is mastered by them and that annihilates the fear of this cycle of existence, and to the assembly of bodhisattvas as well. Trembling with fear, I offer myself to Samantrabhadra, and of my own will I offer myself to Manjughosha. Terrified, I utter a mournful cry to the protector Avalokita, whose conduct overflows with compassion that he may protect me, a sinner. Seeking protection, I earnestly invoke noble Akashagarbha, Kshitigarbha, and all the compassionate ones. I bow to Vajri, upon the side of whom the messengers of death and other malevolent beings flee in terror to the four directions. After neglecting your counsel, in terror I go for refuge now as I face this fear. Swiftly remove my fear. Even one frightened by a fleeting illness would not disregard the physician's advice. How much more so one afflicted by the 404 diseases, of which just one can annihilate all people living in Jambudvipa, and for which a medicine is not found in any region. If I disregard the counsel of the omniscient physician who removes every pain, shame on me, extremely deluded one that I am. If I stand very attentive even on a smaller cliff, then how much more so on an enduring chasm of 1,000 leagues? It is inappropriate for me to be at ease thinking, just today death will not arrive. The time when I will not exist is inevitable. Who can give me fearlessness? How shall I escape? I shall certainly not exist. Why is my mind at ease? What of value has remained with me from earlier experiences, which have disappeared and engrossed in which I neglected the counsel of spiritual mentors? Upon forsaking my relatives and friends and this world of the living alone, I shall go elsewhere. What is the use of all my friends and enemies? In that case, only this concern is appropriate for me day and night. How shall I surely escape suffering on account of that non-virtue? Whatever vice, whatever natural misdeed, and whatever misdeed by prohibition, I, an ignorant fool, have accumulated. Terrified of suffering, all this I confess, standing with folded hands in the presence of the protectors and bowing repeatedly. May the guides be aware of my transgressions together with my iniquity. O protectors, may I not commit this evil again. And then we rejoice. Whatever merits all conquerors, Buddha children, Pratyeka's, Arya's training and past training, and worldly beings have throughout the 10 directions, I rejoice in all of them. So we take a moment to rejoice in our good deeds, in our own good deeds of the 3 times. And of course in the good deeds of all sentient beings, of our fellow practitioners, our Vajra and Dharma brothers and sisters, and all sentient beings all over the world. And then we rejoice in all the virtues and good deeds of our teachers, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and all personal teachers. And of course in all the good deeds which we continuously benefit from through our teachers of all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. And then we requesting to continue to teach. All you lights of the worlds of the 10 directions who have awakened to Bodhi and realized non-attachment, I urge all you protectors to turn the unsurpassable wheel of Dharma. Those who wish to demonstrate Nirvana, I request with folded palms to stay, for eons as many as the atoms of their lands, for all beings' happiness and welfare. Whatever little virtue I have gathered from prostrating, offering, confessing, and rejoicing, urging and requesting, I dedicate it all toward awakening. And now I will read the visualization, and you can just focus on the visualization. Afterwards, we will together recite 100 times the mantra of Shakyamuni Buddha. So visualize that a stream of golden light, the essence of which are the excellent qualities of the Buddha's body, speech and mind, descend from the Buddha's heart in front of us. Beautiful, continuous streams of warm golden light. And they flow into you and into all the sentient beings around us through the crown of our heart. And all these infinite good qualities which come through us in the form of this golden light permeate every part of our being, connecting us with our innermost true, compassionate, pure, clear nature. And while being filled, we can visualize that we then send out this light to all beings, so that every being transforms into Buddha, while we keep this visualization and recite the mantra 100 times. Tayata Wam Muni Muni Ma Muna Yesua Tayata Wam Muni Muni Ma Muna Yesua. Tayata Wam Muni Muni Ma Muna Yesua Tayata Wam Muni Muni Ma Muna Yesua Tayata Wam Muni Muni Ma Muna Yesua. And then we dissolve the field of merit altogether. You do all that's good for beings and grant cities in accordance. Please go to your Buddha lands, but come back again later. Great compassionate lords, it is good that you benefit us and all sentient beings, but please go miraculously with your retinues to your respective lands. And then we continue with a prayer for flourishing of the doctrine. Homage to the seven Buddha heroes, Vipassin, Sikin, and Visvabu, Krakuchandra, Kanagamundi, Kasyapa, and Gautama Shakyamuni. Through the hardships I've endured formerly for being's sake, and through my renouncing pleasure, may the doctrine flourish long. Since I give in my livelihood for the sake of sick people, so protecting needy beings, may the doctrine flourish long. through my giving son and daughter, wife, wealth, jewels, elephant, and my chariot for awakening, may the doctrine flourish long. Through my giving honor to Buddhas and Pratyeka Buddhas, hearers, parents, and ascetics, may the doctrine flourish long. Through my tasting diverse sufferings for many million eons, and seeking learning for awakening, may the doctrine flourish long. Through my long-kept morals, vows, and penances, and worship of Buddhas of the 10 directions, may the doctrine flourish long. Always firm, outshining others through past energy I've had for all sentient beings saving, may all doctrine flourish long. Through my bravely keeping patience, always bearing evil beings in decline of beings in pleasure, may the doctrine flourish long. Through my practicing samadhis, may as Ganji sense and dhyanas, liberations, formless trances, may the doctrine flourish long. Through my past austerities, kept in woods for gnosis' sake, and teaching many treatises, may the doctrine flourish long. Through my giving up my flesh, blood, and life because of love, and giving limbs and minor parts, may the Dharma's method proper. Through my past full loving ripening of the sinful, fixing them in the triple vehicle, may the best gift Dharma grow. Through my saving beings from wrong views to establish them in right view, once I've method and wisdom, may the Dharma prosper. Through my freeing beings from klesha's fire with the 4 attractions and subduing growing evil, may my followers stay long. Through my saving tirtikas from the flood of other views, fixing them in right view, may my followers be faithful always, may the doctrine flourish long. That the Dharma King Tsongkhapa's Dharma method may prosper, let all adverse signs be stilled and good conditions be complete. Thanks to my and others joined 2 collections of the 3 times, may the doctrine of the conqueror Losang Drapa flourish long. Highest, best teacher, greatest of the great, Son, Lord of Dharma, conqueror, through your aspiration quell harmful foes, the maras and all kinds of hindrances, day and night be our auspicious seat of prosperity. Highest, best Dharma of true reality, nectar of true Dharma truth, through your inspiration free us from faults, let our good collections develop, day and night be our auspicious seat of prosperity. Sangha, shining splendor of precious qualities, Buddha children, true helpers, through your inspiration quell our defilements and sufferings, the foes that torment us, day and night be our auspicious seat of prosperity. Giving charity, keeping morality, practice of patience, undertaking energy, concentration, realizing true mode of being. Let us here and now have the blessings of these 6. And then we do a short dedication now and then a longer one after we recited the sutra. Gewadi nyududang lama sangye drugyune doa chikyang malupa Dei sala gupar shuddhang subsam chakrim pochi ma ke panam ke gyuchi ke wanyam pa me payang gong ne gong du pelwar shun.